is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis pressing the U.S. on gun smuggling. Commissioner of Police Paul Roll to leave office July 5th. And the NCTU says good riddance to the unions that broke away. We're talking with the president of the unions that broke away, the umbrella union, the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, this morning as we kick off our Labor Week series. All right here. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, there needs to be a crackdown on gun smuggling from the United States to the Caribbean, including the Bahamas. Those are the words from Prime Minister Philip Davis yesterday, adding that he has brought the issue up with high-ranking U.S. officials. Davis says that more than 90% of guns confiscated and used as murder weapons in the country can be traced to American manufacturers and gun shops. Speaking on the sidelines of the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police 36th Annual General Meeting and Conference at Bahamar yesterday, Davis saying, quote, "We are saying to the Americans that they need to do more. We don't want to get involved in their domestic issue about the right to bear arms. We're concerned that purchasers of guns are not just buying them to bear, but rather to export. There needs to be an intervention, and where the evidence appears to them that a person is not buying it and exercising their right to bear it, but buying it with the purpose of trafficking, some legislative intervention needs to be engaged to make those persons responsible and accountable for the arms they purchase." Davis says he spoke on behalf of the region during his conversations with the U.S. officials. He said those officials promised to intervene to see how the concerns can be addressed. He also says he plans to continue to agitate for the U.S. government to act on the issue. Commissioner of Police Paul Roll says that he will demit office on July 5th after serving in the post since March 30th of 2020. Roll says that at some point the Prime Minister and the Cabinet or through the Prime Minister will announce who will be the next commissioner. Roll says he wanted to leave in April, but decided to stay on because the Bahamas is hosting that Association of Commissioners of Police Conference. While Prime Minister Davis has outlined plans to increase the public sector minimum wage, Bahamas Public Service Union President Kingsley Ferguson says that a livable wage is what is needed. Currently, the private sector minimum wage is $210 per week. The public sector wage is $225 per week. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis last week said the government is considering increasing the public sector minimum wage to $250 per week, but Ferguson says that is still insufficient. And National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas acting president Sherry Benjamin says the Congress is better off without the affiliates it left to form the new Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress. Benjamin saying that they will march on and march on strong. She says, quote, "The unions that are left, we are resolved in our minds to rebuild the Congress and to ensure that the Congress is doing what it's supposed to do, and that is to defend the rights of workers in this country." Them leaving is almost like a blessing for us because we have been trying to have meetings, and every time the former president or the acting president called a meeting, it was very toxic or disruptive, and we were unable to get anything done if they showed up. Well, the BNATUC announced on Sunday includes 6 unions and 2 associations: the Airport, Airline and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Financial Services Union, the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Public Service Union, the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the Police Staff Association, and the Correctional Officers Staff Association. Benjamin says of the affiliates that left the NCTU, only the Hotel Union and the Hotel Union notified them of their departure from the Congress. The remaining affiliates with the NCTU, the Bahamas Musicians and Entertainers Union, the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, the BCPOU, the Bahamas Utility Services and Allied Workers Union, the Union of Public Officers, the Bahamas Commercial Stores, Supermarkets and Warehouse Workers Union, the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas, the Union of Central Bankers, and the Bahamas Airline Pilots Association. Overseas, representatives of a group of nations working together to investigate war crimes in Russia's invasion of Ukraine are meeting in The Hague amid ongoing calls for those responsible for atrocities to be brought to justice. Tuesday's coordination meeting at the European Union's Judicial Cooperation Agency, Eurojust, of members of Joint Investigation Team and International Criminal Court prosecutor Karim Khan comes as Russian forces continue to pound Ukrainian towns. Moscow's invasion of Ukraine has been widely condemned as an illegal act of aggression. Russian forces have been accused of killing civilians in the Kyiv suburb of Bucha and of repeated attacks on civilian infrastructure, including hospitals and a theater in the besieged city of Mariupol that was being used as a shelter by hundreds of civilians. An investigation by the Associated Press found evidence that the March 16th bombing killed close to 600 people inside and outside the building. Since Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, the AP and PBS series Frontline have verified 273 potential war crimes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has denounced killings of civilians as genocide and war crimes, while U.S. President Joe Biden has called Russian President Vladimir Putin a war criminal who should be brought to trial. And Shanghai authorities say they will take some major steps by Wednesday toward reopening China's largest city, largest city after a 2-month COVID-19 lockdown that has throttled the national economy and largely bottled up millions of people in their homes. Full bus and subway service will be restored, as will basic rail connections with the rest of China, according to the vice mayor today. Schools will partially reopen on a voluntary basis for students in shopping malls. Supermarkets, convenience stores, and drugstores will continue to reopen gradually with no more than 75% of their total capacity. Cinemas and gyms will remain closed. Officials who set June 1st as the target date for reopening earlier in May appear ready to accelerate what has been a gradual easing in recent days. A few malls and markets have reopened, and some residents have been given passes, allowing them out for a few hours at a time. In online chat groups, some expressed excitement about the prospect of being able to move about freely in the city for the first time since the end of March, while others remained cautious given the slow pace and stop-and-go nature of opening up so far. In sports, while some Bahamian collegiate athletes were looking to make their national championships in Division I track and field over the weekend, a trio competed in the Division II championships, which wrapped up on Saturday in Michigan. In individual events, Bahamian athletes secured a gold, silver, and bronze, along with a relay gold at the 2022 National Collegiate Athletic Association Division II Men and Women's Outdoor Track and Field Championships. And it was a busy weekend for a number of these athletes. Denisha Cartwright competed in 3 events, along with the women's 4x100 meter relay. Cartwright, a sophomore from Minnesota State University, struck gold in the women's 100 meters, winning comfortably in a new personal best time of 13.35 seconds, earning 10 points for her school. She ran 13.40 seconds in the heat. And it's the second time in her collegiate career that Cartwright has earned All-American first-team honors in the 100-meter hurdles. She finished third at the 2021 NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships. It's also the first time a Mavericks athlete for school has captured a national title in that event. You can read more in today's Guardian Sports section. In an ongoing attempt to qualify for the World Athletics World Championships in Eugene, Oregon this summer, national record holder in the men's decathlon, Kendrick Thompson, in competition at the Jacksonville Athletic Club Combined Events Qualifier. Thompson breaking his national record of 7,762 points in the men's decathlon by 28 points. He scored a new national record of 7,788 points. His previous personal best and national record of 7,762 points, done back in April. And in his second game back from hamstring tightness, Bahamian professional baseball player with the Miami Marlins, Jazzrado Chisholm, in his usual spot leadoff in the lineup, but coming up empty in 4 plate appearances. In afternoon baseball on Memorial Day, Chisholm finished 0 for 4 with a strikeout, bringing his batting average down to .271. Chisholm is now hitless in his last 9 at-bats and has just 1 hit in his last 18 appearances. He remains among the team leaders in a number of offensive categories, but has fallen off a bit and is trying to refine the groove that catapulted himself among the league leaders offensively and regarded as one of the top young second basemen in the game. From tennis, the French Open is the first Grand Slam tournament in a year with both Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal in the field, and anyone who enjoys men's tennis or indeed sports should be thrilled that these two titans will face each other for a record 59th time. It's only a quarter-final match, though, instead of something with more at stake. That's all set for today. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for a first look at weather. And in your weather, what night in New Providence, especially for residents in eastern New Providence, many waking up to flooded streets, extremely severe flooding in eastern New Providence today. We've got deep troughing coupled with streaming tropical moisture that's going to maintain an unsettled weather pattern across the entire country. Residents and boaters should be alert for possible waterspout and or tornado activity. There's also the potential for a few strong to severe thunderstorms and localized flooding in flood-prone and low-lying areas during heavy and prolonged rainfall events. Beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents at East Coast beaches. For all areas today, we are looking at mostly cloudy to overcast conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest and central islands. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Small craft caution remains in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Small craft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest and central islands, but easterly at 15 to 20 knots in the southeastern Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the northwest and central islands, but 4 to 7 feet in the southeastern Bahamas. We are at about 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
You're listening to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Remember, standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Don was not going to be with us this morning. He's under the weather. Hope he's going to be feeling better. And we'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. We can give that to you now. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. As we said, hey, we got quite a bit of rain last night, especially in eastern New Providence. There's serious flooding out there, and we hope people learned a lesson from a few weeks ago and with what happened in western New Providence. Do not drive through the flooded water. Don't do it. Don't do it, especially on Prince Charles Drive, the eastern end of Prince Charles Drive. Don't try to go through there. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And reports of flooding in Yamacraw as well. And so turn around. Yeah, leave earlier if you have to be somewhere. It's not pretty. And yeah, I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot more about all of that this morning. People are bailing out of water out of their homes. So yeah. We can talk about that and a whole lot more of what's in the news. And in the news, as we approach the start, well, tomorrow is the start of the hurricane season, the Atlantic hurricane season. We already have a lot going on weather-wise. You're going to be hearing a lot more about that throughout the day. So we have this streaming tropical moisture over us right now. But there is something out in the Gulf of Mexico we're watching. We're watching this carefully. And it could form, it was a Pacific hurricane, the first of the Eastern Pacific Hurricane Agatha that crossed over Mexico is now on our side and could become a tropical depression by the end of the week. And the models have it going over, most of the models have it going over Florida apparently, but there's one that has it going over Cuba and getting a little close to us. So keep that in mind. We're going to keep you posted on that, but it's a tropical depression, so it wouldn't be anything too strong, but it has a 60% chance of developing into tropical cyclone over the next 5 days. So we will keep you updated on that. But we're starting the season off with a bang-ish. Yeah, and we already got a lot of water on weather that we're dealing with and rain. So it's going to be an interesting week as we head into the holiday weekend as well. So that's happening. And a lot to get to this morning. As we said, coming up, we're going to be talking with the new Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress as we kick off our annual Labor Week series today through Thursday. And the NTCU, a lot of those unions came from the NTCU. They're saying good riddance. We're going to get to that a little bit later. But that discussion with the BNATUC coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, and we'll go into Morning Blend business with that. So there's a lot of other big stories to get to this morning. The police chief officially stating when he's leaving office. The Prime Minister urging the U.S. to tackle gun smuggling outside of the U.S. And the police giving an update on some of the investigations they are following. Let's begin with the investigations. Take a listen to this from our Tashina Robinson.
Police Commissioner Paul Rowe providing an update today on 3 high-profile probes currently underway. The first involves the Long Island MP and former executive chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation, Adrian Gibson.
We are conducting an investigation into water and sewage as to how funds were used or expended. And that's about as much as I can say.
Commissioner Roll also provided insight into a matter involving Transport and Housing Minister JoBeth Colby Davis. She allegedly struck a police officer with her vehicle at a carnival event held a little over a week ago. Colby Davis has vehemently denied the allegation. Roll says it's being looked into.
I have one of the assistant commissioners conducting an investigation to find out exactly what happened. And that's a matter under active investigation.
And when it comes to the ongoing probe into the deaths of 3 Americans who were found dead in villas at Sandals Emerald Bay Resort on Exuma earlier this month, the commissioner says they are still awaiting the pathologist's report. Last week, the NASA Guardian reported the American visitors died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
I promise you that when I get it, I will provide it, but I do not dictate to the coroner, nor do I dictate to the pathologist. We work in partnership, and they have their things to do. I've done my part to help get some of the samples analyzed and forward to them so they can do their work. Remember, they had suggested a turnaround time of about 2 weeks after receiving them. This is just a week and a couple of days. But what has created the euphoria is that, every day people are calling and asking for update and not giving them time to do their work.
All right, Tashina Robinson with that update there. Well, there you have it. All right, so the commissioner was speaking on the sidelines of the 36th Annual General Meeting and Conference of the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police. And he made some other news there. Take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
The Prime Minister made his views on the matter crystal clear. After nearly 40 years of service and just over 2 years after being appointed the country's top cop, the police commissioner says he will say goodbye to the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Having discussed the matter, we have agreed, along with the Prime Minister, that I will demit office on the 5th of July. And I don't like when you get to the end of your tenure, people are making mischief. And I've said to the senior officers when I met with them, we all serve. We serve our country, and I serve, and I am at my pinnacle. I'm actually over time now because I have like 58 weeks vacation. My anniversary was last week. I wanted to leave in April, but because of this, I'm still here.
He made the announcement to the press on the sidelines of the 36th Annual General Meeting and Conference of Caribbean Commissioners of Police, calling it a part of his farewell tour. Roll was appointed as Commissioner of Police on March 30th, 2020, during a national emergency when the country was under a 24-hour curfew due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Roll began his tenure with the RBPF in May 1983. When asked if he was being forced out, the commissioner had this to say.
Who's forced out by who?
By the political director?
No, nobody can force the commissioner out. I said, when you all asked me in December that I will leave when I'm ready. And, the persons were making mischief. I know when I joined the police force, and I know when it's time to leave.
Roll says he is proud of the work he has done.
I challenge you, go on any of the islands in the Bahamas right now, and what you see going on, tell me if you see something different. Look in Nassau, look in Grand Bahama, New Providence that is. And I think some of the initiative that we have done, and I am pleased with the performance of these officers. And of course, you all could judge me on my performance, whether you think I passed or failed. But I'm looking forward to making this transition. And I think I've done my best and given my best in service.
Roll is the 8th commissioner in an independent Bahamas. He says in due time, the Prime Minister will announce who his replacement will be. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay, we salute Paul Roll, and 40 years. He really doesn't look old enough to have been on the force for 40 years. Really? What? That's something else. It's impressive. Okay. My goodness gracious, that's wow. 58 weeks vacation, folks. 58 weeks vacation. I really. What would you do if you had 58 weeks? You could do it all. Ooh, man. Wow. Anyway, yeah, say, let's salute Paul Roll. We appreciate him very much. And give us a call. Let's talk about it. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Everything has to be controversial, though. I mean, nothing. Can't you be ready? We all want to go. It doesn't mean you're being forced out. It doesn't mean that, right? But let's get your views on it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well.
Good. You know what? At least let's get at least Mr. Rowley ain't cry like the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He take it like a man. It's time for him to go. But let me ask you one.
What does that mean? And it's not July yet. I mean, but what does that mean? You're not. I mean, it's emotional. 40 years of your life. That is emotional. Why shouldn't you cry?
I can't see how people work people long. With the body that long. No, wait.
Okay.
Let me ask you one question. How in the world they got 58 weeks vacation? Why did government people when they get a vacation they don't go home and let other people do other things, man?
Well, people were explaining that sometimes things happen and you get called off your vacation or you're about, we know in this country there's a murder
we
all.
We can't keep running the country like this, Dwight. We can't keep running the country like this. I believe in young people, man. I believe in young people. The young people can do their jobs and they will be biased. But kudos off to Mr. Hall. At least he ain't crying like the rest of them. And thanks for taking my call.
What's wrong with crying? I don't understand. Okay. He might still in July. I don't see what the issue is. But yeah, we've talked about this a lot on the show with how it works in the public service and government agencies. You try to take your vacation and you're called off and, because there's a crisis. And somebody's got to do something. But, okay. This text here, the commissioner's work is undermined by politics and oh boy, you all, okay, here we go. How do you even get 58 weeks vacation? That's what, I'm not able to get it, even if I tried, because of, I think it's a reasonable policy. We don't roll over vacation here, and because some people would try it. 2 years vacation. Wow. This one here, totally agree. I'm looking forward to leaving too after working for 30 plus years, right? Another one, how the heck does one accumulate 58 weeks vacation? And we wonder why these police and high-strung appear to be imbalanced. Well, anyway, nowhere in the private sector can anyone accumulate this. Use it or lose it, right? Yeah, exactly. Why would an organization allow an individual to accumulate 58 weeks of vacation? That's just crazy. This text here, Dwight, where exactly is the flooding on Prince Charles? Can you get through by Sea Grapes Plaza and by the Wintons River Valley? Yeah, you can get that far down. But after that, there's that basin there where Prince Charles and Eastern Road meet. It always is terrible, and it's bad. And there's some other spots out there. And Yamacraw, I'm hearing, is bad as well. So, in fact, you can tell us wherever you are if there's flooding. Let us know so people can know to avoid the area. You don't want them speeding through and pushing the water into your homes. You definitely don't want that. And there's some other spots around as well. I saw some around here in Oaksfield, so keep that in mind. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
When you reach in a commissioner rank or a high rank next to the commissioner, you can't get a decent vacation every year.
Yeah.
You can get it probably about a week or a couple of days.
Mm.
So these civilians, they never work in a government department to know what's happened when you get way up in the rank like that. They don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
You just can't, because you can't tell the man he's not entitled to it, but you just can't get it.
Right. There's always something.
Yeah, the commissioner is not like a regular constable sergeant, inspector like that. Because they could go on vacation at any time. You can find somebody to replace them.
Yes,
but
yes.
you don't find nobody to replace the commissioner because he's the commissioner.
Right. Oh, we saw that a few weeks ago. People were saying, "Where's the commissioner? Why isn't he talking on this?" Right. So even you're gone for a day, people question. So
even when you saw Clayton Fernandez acting for maybe once or twice since they're gone back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Acting as commissioner. The next couple of days or less than a week, Paul rolls back. So I could tell you, you cannot take a decent vacation.
No.
Like at one time, I joined the police force in November 71.
Mm-hmm.
Chief Inspector China from Kerala gave me 12 weeks vacation because I didn't take vacation until 1975. May of 1975. You see?
Wow.
So and he said, I applied before. He said, no, man. He was in charge of Central Police Station. He said, no. Chief Inspector China, Chilean China. He said, no. You go on 12 weeks. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's how it is. You are a lower rank. You could get it, but a commissioner can't get. He could never take all of his vacation one time or almost all. His vacation will have to accumulate. So nobody can down him and say, "Oh, why he didn't take it? How he get to accumulate?" They didn't never work in a government department, so they would not understand.
Yeah.
You understand?
But I do think they asked a good question though about burnout and the stress, especially at a job like that. You do need some time. You really do.
Up in that rank too, right? When you reach up in the superintendent rank and all, they have regular 4 weeks a year or 4 weeks a year, and then 4 or 5 weeks a year, and then they have every month they get a 2. It used to be when I was there, they have like 2 days extra, 2 days per month. What you call casual leave. I think you all have that in the Guardian too, casual leave. But then sometimes you can't. That's a casual leave you have to take.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes if you don't take it, that's still add to your vacation.
Oh, we certainly don't have that.
But
okay.
casual leave is mostly like a must. You must take it every month, like 2 days out every month. Coming towards that.
I pray that one day we institute policy
you
like
should
that.
have that casual leave.
They'll tell me that Saturday.
Your position as a manager, you should have casual leave 2 days every month. That go along with your 4 weeks or 5 weeks per year. But I think one thing with your weekend wouldn't include in your regular vacation, Saturday and Sunday.
No.
Just weekdays. I know when my brother left the police force in 1980, 30 years service, I mean, as chief security for S, and he told me that he used to get 5 weeks a year, plus he have a casual leave too.
Oh boy.
So that was good for him.
That's an interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I think it's Labor Week, and we're starting our series today, but we need to have a discussion about that, about time off and casual days and mental health days and how that would affect productivity, or would it might help productivity, all those things. We need to do a show on that. We're going to do that soon, so stay tuned for that. This texter here, yes, Yamacraw Beach Estate's horribly flooded right now, and there are SUVs rushing through and pushing more water into the yards for sure. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, there was another one here about, where did it go? And they were saying Prince Charles Drive near the Super Value was fine, but it is still flooded. Yeah, that area is okay. But once you get a little east of that, you're going to have some challenges. If you're heading toward Eastern Road, that is definitely nothing you want to go through. Even if you're in a truck, don't do it. Caller we'll get to in a second. This person says here, if he joined the force right out of high school, I could see 40 years on him. Okay. To be a police officer... Is this what we're talking about? I don't know if we need to get into all this. Anyway, to be a police officer, it should require more than a few months training. Police college should have an accredited degree affiliated with UB, 2 years for associates and 4 for bachelors. Okay. This one says, we always ask our military to work in the most dangerous times. So on the surface, if he got 1 week per year of service, fine. Along the way, someone should have forced him to take accumulated leave. Now, I have an acquaintance who works in the medical field. I think the time demands are similar. A common practice is for senior people to say, hey, I got to go do X. I'll be gone for 2 hours, then they'll be gone all day. This is standard practice. So these people get leave but never touch their vacation. It's not fair. It's not fair. So another text about the flooding. I was able to make it around the coast. Yes, if you stay on the coastline, you'd be okay. But if you get inside, you're going to have some challenges. Passing Port New Providence, there were some spots to be careful. Winton Meadows was flooded as well. Yes. Yeah, so I think we got it now out east, what people out west got a few weeks ago. the balance is restored. I don't know. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Ben. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi.
I am a little puzzled as to how the commissioner or the leaving commissioner could say that no one can. Who could force me out? I don't understand if that's constitutional or he's just thinking out loud. But I think not being able to find someone to replace you simply means that you have no intention of the country moving forward.
No. That's not what he said. That's
Huh?
not what he said. It's not up to him. It's up to the prime minister, and the cabinet will decide.
Yeah, but you should simply say, look, man, I'm exhausted. Here it is. I can't take a vacation. It means that I am not qualified anymore to find someone to do better than me. I want to stay. I want the country to stay at the level. Oh, then he said that we.
I don't think.
What
are you? Where are you getting this? I mean, I don't think it doesn't.
I'm saying you should be looking to find someone.
Is
For
it
40
up to
years,
him?
you should find somebody who could do better than you.
Maybe he's recommended. How do you know?
Maybe he has.
Yeah.
Maybe he has. But then I just feel as though we should be going. 40 years with the same person ain't going forward.
No, he wasn't commissioner for 40 years. He's only been commissioner for a year and some, or 2 years.
Okay, fine.
Almost
Well, I just got it all
2
wrong.
years.
Okay, well, I do apologize. But basically, I feel as though
2
if
years.
we can have somebody as a commissioner of police who's going to say to you that he accomplished all he has accomplished, then when he begins his commissioner tenure, he should say what all his accomplishments are going to be. So at the end of it, we could compare. Do you agree with that?
That's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree. I
Right.
mean, I think that's oh boy, so many
Yeah,
variables.
no. Seriously, there has to be some kind of benchmark. This
Yeah,
is what you're going.
sure.
This is what I intend to accomplish, and this is what I have, and then we could judge. Otherwise, what happened to those guys who got shoot up? And he said he know where one is dead. Did he accomplish that?
You're asking some very good questions.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's a big man. He should be able to answer. He's the accomplisher.
Okay.
Who got a whole year to just do nothing now, and we paying him.
Wow. Okay.
Foolishness.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. I thought we were gonna all be roses and chocolates this morning, but I guess no. Oh dear. Okay, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Early days of this Strachan away.
Hi.
Hi. We need justice, law, and order in this country, Dwight.
Yes, we do.
Dwight, let me say something. It shows that the politician was directing the force because there are nobody ahead of him that are there that calling the shots. And also, he been on the force for years. There are a lot of things what had not been done, and then the thing is, I have to deal with them over and over and over for years, right here in Mason's Edition, Spence Street. Central need to be revamped. A lot of things weren't being done. I never got a sitting with him over and over for years. I was trying to get a sitting with him. Spoke to his secretary. They're supposed to call me. It never happened. We need somebody who's going to be directing the force without the politicians.
Well, how are you
Thank you.
going to do that?
Now, the thing is, bring somebody from abroad. What have?
Is that the only way we can do this?
Say it again.
That's the only way we can do this?
This is the only way we can do
Oh,
it
dear.
because there is no other way.
Yikes.
Thank
Well,
you.
That's very scary after all this time to think we have to go back to that. It's very disappointing if that is the case. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, listen, let's just listen to the last caller just now, right? All of a sudden, everybody has so many complaints about this commissioner stepping back. This commissioner just been in. How long he been commissioner? 2 years?
Since March of 2020, yeah.
That's, you understand how much kind of accomplishment could he have in 2 years' time? Okay? And what I feel, I thought the commissioner of police didn't have tenders where they could have, because if you listen to him a couple of months back, right, it seems like his intention was not to step down, okay? Like he had, he had more time, or he was looking forward to continue his reign as police commissioner. But then all of a sudden now, whatever happened, he now has to step down, okay? okay? And if you look and read closely through it, you could tell it has something to do with politics, okay? So I'm trying to figure out, right, that every time the government change, we have to change. Are we going to change our police commissioner? Is that what's going on here?
Well, we've certainly seen quite a few since we've been on the air.
If that's what it is, Fred, I feel like they should not have been no interference when it comes to the police officers. Why politics has to be involved in everything in this little country? You know, I don't see. I never had a problem with him. I think he was doing a good job, given more chance and more time. I think he could have even done a lot more. You know, and ain't like they don't have or know who was Sister Caesar. Everybody know exactly who was next commissioner of police there. So, you know, I think we just need to allow the police force to just reign without politics involvement. That's how I look at
All right.
it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's take one final call, and then we'll get to some more of your messages before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight, what's up, brother?
Right here. How you doing?
Boy, hey, I am great. And good morning to those who wake up in the land of the living. I hope you have something hot on your chest. Why do I do that for them? Anyway, I don't get that. But take a real account of the situation with the commissioner, right? If you talk to a lot of senior officers, and I'm talking about no politics, and I don't be into no politics all the time, but if you talk to a lot of senior officers, a lot of them are very disgruntled. I'm talking about like people that I know from like inspectors up. They're really disgruntled of the working conditions. So I hope that the incoming commissioner, that things would be better and the workforce would be able to get along with the commissioner. Because, Dwight, let's be realistic. If you're the commissioner of police and you have a team of officers and the majority of them have maybe situations or problems or they don't like how you're handling things, you're not going to have a good workforce. And I think that's one of the main problems that I have understand from other police officers are working with the commissioner. So everybody have their feelings and everybody have their rights, but we must remember, you're not on a government job forever, especially, and, people might not like this, but the commissioners do be politically appointed, all right? But 52 weeks, Mr. Roll, you serve the country, you do well, take your time, take your vacation with your grandchildren, with your family, and live your life, man.
58.
58? Yeah, man, you live your life with all the stress that's going on. Live your life.
All right. Thanks, David. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. I got a couple messages as we go to the break. Somebody says here, it's quite typical in the public service for persons to rack up weeks and months of vacation. There were stipulations made in the revised HR policy manual. I think that's what's supposed to be HR. However, due to HR inefficiencies as well as shortages in the departments, many regular persons can accumulate vast amounts of vacation. I personally have more than 20 weeks vacation. There's some persons that take on early retirement a year before their actual retirement because they have so much vacation accumulated. Well, that is what Commissioner Roll is doing, yeah. This person says, Pinewood is nice. Good job. Okay. I really don't, that I will need a translator for that text, but I think they're saying Pinewood is dry. Okay. This text here, the commissioner will be back in government as soon as a consultant, as soon as his vacation's finished. Oh boy. Okay, and this one says here, okay, you all are really revealing a lot. I don't know who these people are texting. You all are very close, and I can't read these. Not to be read on the air. So, okay, see, this is all insider information everybody's sending. So, and it's a lot of you. Well, thank you for sharing. I will read these when we take the break. We're going to take a break and be back. The Prime Minister is speaking about guns and gun smuggling. We'll get into that after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
even when dining out is kind of predictable.
Will that be all, miss?
No, I would like that double-decker caramel chocolate cheesecake.
Sometimes you need to make a classic move. That's why for all of life's moments, there's one classic credit card. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses. Apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic and enjoy 1 year's free membership. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. And a reminder that the streets are wet and in some parts of New Providence flooded. Eastern New Providence seeing quite a bit of flooding in some parts, so keep that in mind as you make your way through and try to avoid driving through flooded streets, folks. In your real-time traffic at this hour, we are seeing some heavy traffic on Prince Charles Drive. This is on the way to Beatrice Avenue, so westbound there. You're going to be seeing a long line in front of you. And as we said, there's reported flooding on Yamacraw Hill Road, so keep that in mind. We're seeing traffic backed up a bit there. Eastern Road building traffic west of Fox Hill, westbound. Then we've got Blue Hill Road, as usual, heavy traffic just north of Soldier Road on the way to the Independence Drive roundabout. And further south on Blue Hill, near Carmichael Road, between St. Vincent and Carmichael Road, in the northbound lanes. East Street, also heavy traffic south of Soldier Road and between Sapodilla Boulevard, mainly northbound, and the intersection is busy for you there. Soldier seeing some issues on the way to that intersection and near Windsor Place and Old Trail. And then there's Carmichael, heavy traffic eastbound to Blue Hill Road and Milo Butler Highway, as usual, your hot spot. Heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes there. Glaston Road looking like a much better alternate route for you this morning, but still heavy as you get closer to JFK Drive in the northbound lanes. Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road, busy at this hour as well. That's what we're seeing so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by BTC. We've got a lot going on weather-wise, and it's going to be a wet week into your holiday weekend. Deep troughing coupled with streaming tropical moisture will maintain an unsettled weather pattern across the country. Residents and boaters should be alert for possible waterspout or tornado activity. There's potential for a few strong to severe thunderstorms and localized flooding in flood-prone and low-lying areas like we saw last night during heavy and or prolonged rainfall events, and beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents at East Coast beaches. For all areas today, forecast calls for mostly cloudy to overcast conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest and central Bahamas. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Smallcraft caution remains in effect for the southeast Bahamas, and smallcraft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. We're looking at high temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, persistent troughing and lingering tropical moisture will keep rain chances elevated across the area and into the holiday weekend. So for Wednesday, tomorrow, mostly cloudy to overcast with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Some may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times, especially across the northwest Bahamas. Thursday, variable cloudiness, very warm conditions, scattered showers, and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropics, we are watching a large and complex area of low pressure expected to develop near the Yucatan Peninsula and the northwestern Caribbean Sea in a couple of days, partly related to the remnants of Hurricane Agatha from the eastern Pacific. The system could form into a tropical depression in the northwestern Caribbean Sea or southeastern Gulf of Mexico by later in the week, and is forecast to slowly move northeastward. The system has a medium chance, about 60% chance for tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days. And the Bahamas should be watching this to see what happens. But keep that in mind. It's going to be a busy week weather-wise. And so we'll keep you posted. But that's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by BTC. Port to BTC prepaid and get a smartphone for free. Simply port in and activate a $15 combo plan, and your smartphone is free. Visit any BTC location or WhatsApp or email their virtual store to activate your plan today.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Scan on Bahamas, it's your boy Sawyer Boy. COVID is clearly unpredictable. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. I'm young, and it still put a beating on me. I had no other option but to go to the hospital. I remember the doctor telling me if I had waited one more day, I wasn't gonna come inside here alive. You don't wanna be in the same position that I was in. Vaccines may not stop you from getting COVID, but it can stop you from getting COVID the way I had COVID. You don't want that way.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Platoon! Attention! By the left! March! Left, right, in the government boots,
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Tuesday morning. Boy, this is not a pleasant tweet, or text, but I think we should read this one. This is, the traffic department of the police force is worse than it's ever been, and after a whole lockdown, still no regular cops at intersections, undercover, or on buses, or any significant changes. I wonder if he can brag about how useless they are and how effective he's been in turning that around. Well, it's text. Hey, there's a lot of work to be done still. And I'm sure an organization like the police force, it's not easy to make some of these changes. Right, 2 years is not that long. And he's already, as he said, reached 40, and he's ready to go. So, but we hope others are listening. I hope they hear that text and try to see if they can do some things. So, that seemed negative, but maybe it's encouraging. All right, let's use that as encouragement, that we know that you are capable of more and can do it and can fix and can right what's wrong with the police force. That's a call to everyone on the force and all of us in the country. Yeah? All right. So the Prime Minister, speaking about gun smuggling, says the Americans need to do more to address the issue of guns getting into this country. Take a listen to what he told the reporters on the sidelines of that general meeting we've been telling you about, the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police, the 36th annual general meeting yesterday. This report, again, from our Jasmine Brown.
The Prime Minister made his views on the matter crystal clear on the sidelines of a regional police commissioners conference, as he says combating gun trafficking is a key priority of his administration.
The right to bear arms in the United States does not also mean the right to traffic in those arms to the Caribbean countries. And I said that to the highest level. And hopefully our voice on this issue will continue to be heard and acted upon.
According to Prime Minister Davis, more than 90% of guns confiscated in the Bahamas can be traced back to American manufacturers and gun shops. The PM also telling the room full of high-ranking law enforcement officers that investigations have revealed a frightening trend. He highlighted the case of one Bahamian with U.S. ties who bought more than 24 guns in the U.S.
One Bahamian, for example, with American status, being able to buy 40 weapons in 2 or 3 gun shops over a period of 1 month, and within 10 days, one of those weapons have been found to be used here in the Bahamas. And it's only after, through the efforts of our police officers, they're able to determine that that one person bought those 40 guns within those period of time.
The PM also insisting he has made his strong views on the matter well known to U.S. officials up to the White House. He says they have listened and promised to assist with a crackdown.
My plan is to continue to agitate for them to do something. They have indicated that they will look into doing some things, and until they do those things, I'll continue to agitate for them to do something. What I can say is that one step they've taken is to post on alcohol and tobacco and ATF personnel and alcohol, tobacco, and firearms individual to the embassy. And they're attached to the embassy now. That's a step in the right direction. And they also appointed another individual from the Homeland Security, specifically for the purposes of assisting us in identifying, tracing these arms.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right. Somebody make it make sense to me, though. I mean, maybe they can do something. I'm sure they can. I have been saying, if you listen regularly, you know this, it's a supply and demand issue. The demand is gigantic here. And until you make it less attractive to demand it, then that will always be a problem. But it's in high demand here. But maybe there's some other way. If you have any ideas how this works, call in, and we'll pick this up on the other side too, although we're going to get to the union, our labor issues as well after the break. But let's see if we can get this call in really quickly. Call, you've got like about 40 seconds. Good morning. Are you there? Talking too much. Okay. Tell me how this works. This text here, it's admirable that our Prime Minister is asking the U.S. to look into those who perhaps purchase guns to export to our country. Good luck. I think, however, that he is being delusional. They do not even wish to limit gun purchases to save lives of innocent children in their own country. So, as I said, good luck. It's just dust in the wind chatter. Oh, boy. Okay. We'll get some more of your views in in just a bit. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're back after the news.
Which is then I go have me fun. Which is then I go draw me gun. Which is then I go take a chance. I go kill them with romance.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a lot going on weather-wise today and for the remainder of the week and into your holiday weekend, your long holiday weekend coming up. So we've got deep troughing coupled with streaming tropical moisture. That's going to maintain an unsettled weather pattern across the country. And residents and boaters should be alert for possible waterspout and tornado activity. There's also the potential for a strong to severe thunderstorms and localized flooding in flood-prone and low-lying areas during heavy and or prolonged rainfall events. And beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to rip currents at East Coast beaches. For today, for all areas, look for mostly cloudy to overcast conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest and central Bahamas. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Small craft caution remains in effect for the southeastern Bahamas. Temperatures today getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, we're looking at mostly cloudy conditions to overcast with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms for Wednesday, as persistent troughing and lingering tropical moisture will keep rain chances elevated across the area into the weekend. So on Wednesday, showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. Thursday, variable cloudiness and very warm conditions continue, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms as well. We're also watching the tropics. We've got a large and complex area of low pressure expected to develop near the Yucatan Peninsula and the northwestern Caribbean Sea in a couple of days. It's partly related to the remnants of Hurricane Agatha, which is from the eastern Pacific, their first-named storm, and the system could form into a tropical depression in the northwestern Caribbean or southeastern Gulf of Mexico later in the week, and it's forecast to move slowly northeastward. The system has a medium chance, about 60% chance for tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days. Some of the models have that, whatever it is, going over Florida, but others, a couple, have it going over Cuba and moving near to the northwest Bahamas. So we are going to continue to watch that for you. But again, it could form into a tropical depression in a few days. So definitely more rain in the forecast. That is your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. 8:25, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. Reminder about Village Road. If you can, avoid the area as work continues there and roll for the next few weeks, months really. If you can't, follow the posted signs. And keep in mind, a lot of the streets are very wet this morning. Some flooding in eastern New Providence. You might want to avoid some areas entirely if you can. And don't drive through the flooded streets. In your real-time traffic at this hour, we're seeing heavy traffic on Eastern Road from well past San Souci, westbound all the way up to Johnson Road. Heavy traffic extending a long way this morning. Prince Charles Drive also busy for you in spots, especially near Elizabeth Estates and approaching the intersection with Beatrice Avenue and Soldier Road intersection and Soldier Robinson between Soldier and Old Trail, seeing heavy traffic this morning as well. Soldier has a number of hot spots, especially northbound, heading toward that intersection with Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road. Bernard Road westbound also busy. Then again, Soldier and near East Street and Soldier near Windsor Place. And just north of Soldier Road, Blue Hill Road, seeing heavy traffic on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive seeing heavy traffic westbound this morning. Marathon Road also busy for you northbound. Carmichael, a couple spots there. Eastbound to Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic. And westbound to Coral Harbor Road. Then there's Milo Butler Highway from Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic Booms Darling Highway, heavy traffic there. And the six-legged roundabout, multiple directions, eastbound on JFK, northbound and southbound on New Providence Highway. Glasson Road looking a lot better for you there this morning. Just as you get closer to JFK Drive, where you see that heavy traffic in front of you. So those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic, and that's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and PIN security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Too many guns in this town. Hey, too many guns passing round. Too many guns in this town. Yeah, too many guns passing round.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Tuesday. In just a moment, we kick off our Labor Week, our annual Labor Week series, and we begin with the new umbrella union, the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress. We're going to be talking with them in just a moment. Before we get to that, though, we just want to get through some of your messages. Before the break, we were listening to what Prime Minister Davis has to say about the U.S. and gun smuggling, and saying that the Americans need to do more to prevent guns from getting into the country. We want to get your views on how that can be accomplished and whether that can be accomplished, especially, as I'm saying, when the demand here is so high for the guns, and we're not doing much, it seems, to curtail that at all, or punishing people who do have them enough. This text says, this is a joke. Whenever someone is caught with a gun or ammo, the sentence is minimal, and it usually takes years to get the case to court. Instead of calling in the U.S., we should make laws so that it becomes almost a death sentence if you're caught with a gun, much like they do in some countries with drugs. Doesn't that seem like a much better solution when we control the situation? Another one, what about gun-sniffing dogs? Gun-sniffing dogs. Okay. This was going back to what we talked about earlier with the commissioner and what he's accomplished. Someone says, if the new commissioner of police focuses on enforcing traffic rules, it will help in other areas of crime. The lawlessness on our roads is out of hand and needs to be addressed. What's this one saying here? Traffic is low-hanging fruit. Oh, this is before that. We need a commissioner who doesn't have to retire in 5 years. This seesaw is ridiculous. Tired of these political police appointments that do nothing but profile the implementation of This disastrous turn left on red and the impunity with which people run the red light is also ridiculous. These are low-hanging fruit and solvable within 1 year. And another thing, they better establish some rules around marijuana use because that's another bag of worms. I do not think people should be smoking marijuana in public, fresh air spaces. Go do that in your house and damage your own lungs. If they don't establish the rules, this is another disaster waiting to happen. And don't give them a pass on the traffic. I clearly remember Erin Green on her show asking that traffic police representatives, I guess, do better education about the turn left on red, and the officer chuckled. He basically said that this is being implemented as is, and here we are with people shooting out of corners when their light is on red trying to beat oncoming traffic. Last week, I literally had a car directly in front of me as I came out of the Prince Charles Shopping Center. My light was on green. I saw them moving, but thought there's no way they'll keep going. I'm almost in the middle of the intersection, and their light is on red. Sure enough, they moved casually through for us to meet. They couldn't have been anywhere near that light when it turned red. You know what's happening. Someone is stalling so they can get their system in place to profit. Ooh. They go on to say, I almost killed it. Oh, a lot to say today. I almost killed 4 boys on the weekend. The same traffic education problem. Some dummy stopped on a 4-lane highway to let 4 young boys cross. There was no way I could brake safely in time. Yeah, people need to stop doing that. You are not helping to let people cross the street. You're not helping. You're only putting their lives and your life in danger. Stop it. They will find the way clear. Don't do that. Anyway. There was no way I could brake safely in time. This is a highway, so I kept going. One of the boys darted across the road, and my light flashed before me because I knew if the others followed him, they were going to get hit. All because some dummy trying to help doesn't understand road rules. Stop making these dumb stops for pedestrians. You're endangering them and other drivers. Yes, Texter, you're on a roll today. There's more. Wow. And don't give the message that they could casually cut down casuarina trees. We're going to end up with unsightly scarring, just like that botched job, I guess, former Minister Bannister did on Prince Charles Drive. If you're removing trees, remove everything, including the stump, and replace it with a native plant. I see another contract hacker is cutting down the rest of the shrubbery the last government planted as a barrier to ocean waves. Can we provide education to these random people with weed whackers before they kill all of us? And then they finish it up with, don't drive through flooded streets. Where do you live, Dwight? Well, I mean, don't drive through the ones that are where the water is above your hood, right? Don't do that one. This text, back to the gun issue. The U.S. cannot really do anything to stop guns from coming here. The most they can do is stop the legally purchased guns from coming in. But the illegal guns will continue to be smuggled. Don't forget the Fast and Furious scandal where ATF agents themselves were sending guns directly to Mexican cartels. Evil people will do anything for money and power. And another one here. We don't need the U.S. to deal with our gun issues. Increase the bail and stiffer sentences should fix the gun issue. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that or not. But we cannot continue to ignore what's happening here. We have a problem. We have a big problem, and we need to get a handle on it quick. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Labor Week, our Labor Week series kicks off with the BNA TUC. That's right after this break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Switch for better when you move your mortgage to Scotiabank. Leave behind that old mortgage plan and open the door to a low interest rate. No payments for up to 2 months and cash back of 2.5% of the mortgage amount up to US $10,000. And guess what? It gets better. Apply for your Scotiabank credit card and enjoy a low 9.99% introductory rate for the first 6 months. Switch for better and upgrade your mortgage today with Scotiabank. Offer ends June 30th, 2022.
You should teach a savings class, because you know everything. No, I just choose wisely. Like, I just got 2 months free home internet from BTC. All I did was sign up for internet. 2 months internet free? For real? I bundled my internet and mobile services, and now I'm paying half of what the other guys charge. Plus, as a new customer, I get 2 months internet free. What? Now that's a big deal.
Switch to BTC Internet and get the second and third months free for new customers. Conditions apply.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises residents of Pinecrest Drive, South Beach East, that the corporation will commence improvement work on Tuesday, May 31st, 2022, for a duration of 5 weeks, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. During this period, there may be some interruption in the water supply, road closure, and detours around the work area. Motorists are advised to avoid the area where possible. The corporation apologizes for any inconvenience caused and appreciates your support as they work to improve their level of service.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm taking care of business, woman, can't you see? I gotta make it for you, and I gotta make it for me. Oh, sometimes it seems, girl, I'm neglecting you. Well, I love to spend more time. I got so many things to do. Oh, I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got a job, baby.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you. We are kicking off our annual Labor Week series. Every year before Labor Day, we talk with union leaders and often the labor minister. I don't know if that's going to happen this year, though, but we are trying. And we are very pleased to kick off things with the country's newest umbrella trade union, the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, the BNATUC. We've got President Belinda Wilson and Second Vice President Wesley Ferguson. Great to have you back with us, and great to have you here in this capacity. Welcome. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow, this was a big deal, a big shocker to many people on Sunday to hear about this. And we're seeing we have so much to ask you about, but the question was, most of you were with the NTCU, and we're seeing they're responding in the papers today saying good riddance, that you all were a nuisance and that it was a toxic environment. What do you say to that, and what happened?
Well, good morning again, Dwight, and thank you, my second vice president, for joining me this morning, Mr. Wesley Ferguson. Mr. Strahan, we would have been a part of the National Congress of Trade Unions, and in fact, when the NCTUB was established in the early 90s. The Bahamas Union of Teachers was one of the unions that started the NCTUB. But however, over the last 3 years in particular, we were unable to get the Congress to function in the manner in which we thought that it should have functioned to support and assist the various affiliates. So the 8 groups that have come together, we made a concerted effort to cooperate with each other and to start a Congress that we believe will be able to give labor more life and for us to continue to do the work that we set out to do, which is to ensure that workers' rights are protected and that we represent workers to the best of our ability. We're not going to spend our time going back and forth with the NCTUB because now our focus is on building the BNATUC and ensuring that we are supportive and we provide the guidance and the mentoring and the assistance to all of our unions and associations that are a part of our grouping.
And I'll let you list those in a bit, but tell us why, for those who don't understand this, why is it important to be a part of an umbrella union? Because both of you are with powerful unions, you're with the teachers union, of course, and Wesley Ferguson, the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union. But why is it important to affiliate with an umbrella union?
Well, first of all, each of our unions in our own right, we have issues that we have to deal with for our members. So we do collective bargaining. We may have to agitate or advocate for a particular policy within our unions or within the ministries or departments or the areas which we represent. But when you talk about the Congress, then the Congress work is on a national level, a regional level, and an international level. So yes, locally, how now you would have several of the unions who are in negotiations, including the BUT. So if we get to the point where we are not being successful in diplomacy around the table, and we have to use industrial action, then we have other brother and sister unions that can come and give us support, physical support. They can bring their members because the only thing sometimes that governments understand is numbers. So they can bring out their members to support and to stand with us. But then other than that, when you talk about the national level as a Congress, we are supposed to be the ones that are monitoring labor legislation. So in 2017, the Industrial Relations Act was amended. So us as trade unionists, we sat along with the employer and the government and looked at that draft legislation and we had an input in that. The Employment Act was amended. So those types of things is very important. Then you have the National Tripartite Council, and that council is responsible for a whole list of things. And one of the major work that council is doing is the ILO Decent Work Country Program for the Bahamas, which is for 2021, 2026, which has major implications for terms and conditions of service, for skills, for jobs, for safety on the job. So there's a lot of work that unions have to do other than agitate for salary increases or when there's a unfair treatment of a worker.
Right. Was there any consideration about affiliating with the TUC, the other umbrella union?
Well, we have not gotten that far. I'm not saying that it's off the table, but right now we have eight affiliates, and we are in discussions with several other unions and associations. So our focus now is to support the groups that we have, but also to increase our numbers in very short order. So we will be pushing to have others join us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk some more about that. The objectives of the BNA TUC, what you're really hoping to accomplish here.
Okay, so our objectives, first of all, we want to promote the interests of our affiliates. We want to encourage cooperation among the affiliates. And let me give you an example of cooperation. Let's say Mr. Ferguson's taxi cab union is having a professional development and training, and let's say their topic may be transport. Now, transport is not a BUT sector. Transport is not the police sector. However, they may invite us to come along, to bring some of our shop stewards along, which means that is a learning process for us. So that's cooperation. We work together to ensure that we get the best for all of the unions. We want to continue to defend workers' rights. And a lot of times people say, what y'all mean by that? If you hear the horror stories that workers have on a day-to-day basis, sometimes you would wonder, is this the Bahamas where we live? Because there are a lot of workers who are being treated unfairly and their rights are being infringed upon. And we even have discrimination in the workplace. So we want to also protect the democratic nature of the labor movement. And we made up our minds also that we will not be used as political pawns for any political party, and we will not prostitute ourselves to politicians begging for positions and consultancies. That has also hurt the labor movement.
Oh, I was going to say, surely that has not happened.
Yes, it has.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it and I don't know if you've been reading the dailies. We just had the leader of the acting president of the NCTUB, come out and say, "Oh, I'm a supporter of the government." And for me, I believe as leaders, when it comes to how someone will vote, their political persuasion and their political choice is personal to them. We should not interfere with that. We should not even try to influence how our members vote, because that is your sacred fundamental right. And I believe it tends to cloud. It tends to cloud the issues, and I think sometimes it causes you to compromise yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right, yes. So is it safe to say that all of the unions that have joined the BNA TUC, well, none of these unions signed the MOU with the PLP last year?
I'm glad you raised that, because I must say, and I'm not going to take on Mr. Obi Ferguson publicly, but I really need to say that the statement that Mr. Ferguson made was misleading and disingenuous, because there were no individual unions signing any memorandum of understanding. Mr. Ferguson signed the memorandum of understanding, as the president of the TUC. Mr. Bernard Evans signed the Memorandum of Understanding as the president of the NCTUB. So there was no individual unions signing any Memorandum of Understanding. The two leaders of the then two Congresses signed. And so if the leader is signing, then the leader is then signing on behalf of all of the affiliates.
Okay. All right. So what did you make of his statement, though, that if you're saying it's misleading because, yeah, no one did it, but it did sound to a lot of people had some real issues with that. Right? It sounded like, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it sounded like he was saying that if you didn't vote a certain way, well, then you can't expect to get anything done. Did you take that as well? For Ms. Ferguson, you can jump in as well. Did you understand it that way, or what was your interpretation of that?
Go ahead, Second Vice President.
Okay, good morning, Madam President. Yeah, I'm just giving you an opportunity to express yourself. But yeah, we have issues with that because we should never, as union president, get into a political arena to sign memorandums of understanding as it pertains to our membership without getting that general consensus. Because I certainly was not privy to any information, or I was not invited to any memorandum of understanding signing. And I certainly would not have participated because I have to be sensitive to my membership to know that we are not all PLPs or quote FNMs or whatever political party that you might be persuaded to support. So I certainly was not going to be. In fact, that day I was at the hall, the Union Hall on Farrington Road, pertaining to some other business, and I saw them setting up, and I opted not to join in, although I was not invited, but I opted to just deal with the business that I was dealing with on hand, and I left. So I was not interested in signing any memorandum of understanding with any government or any opposition party.
Okay. Wow. I want you to name the unions that joined with you who are now making up the BNA-TUC.
Okay, so our affiliates are the Airport, Airline, and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Financial Services Union, the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Public Service Union, the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the Police Staff Association, and the Correctional Officers Staff Association. And a lot of people know the Correctional Officers Staff Association as the prison.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now this is, I know you don't want to talk about the NCTUB much, but the acting president is saying that they were only notified by one of those unions, the Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, that they were leaving the Congress. Why is that? Why didn't you notify them?
Well, there's no obligation for us to notify them, and the Constitution states, well, if you're financial or non-financial, and what happens if you're non-financial. So there's no obligation for us to inform them of anything.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're getting an interesting text message asking whether you informed your members that you were going to be forming your own umbrella union, your Congress.
Well, for the Bahamas Union of Teachers, yes, I did. Well, first of all, the executives, we had a vote, and then I also sent out information to our members, and I had to send it out almost in a roundabout way because we could not come out and say, this is the name of the Congress, we will be launching such and such a day. So I did make them aware that there is a new trade union organization, and Belinda Wilson, your president, along with Cedric Carroll, will be vying for positions. And when we won the positions, I also sent a notice to to all of the shop stewards. So it's the shop stewards' duty to make sure that they disseminate the information to all of the members in their various schools.
Yeah. And what about you, Ms. Ferguson? Did you do the same, or did you have to do the same?
Well, yeah, according to our Constitution, that's an executive council decision. And yes, I did meet with my executive council and inform them of our decision, because obviously we were a part of the TUC, but we were not functioning, or we were not a financial member for many years. I'm talking for more than 10 years. So as a result of that, it was a no-brainer that it was important for the taxi union to also become members of an umbrella union. And we were searching out who was, which organization, when it comes to umbrella unions, that we were going to join up with. And when our president informed me that that was our intention, we met, we agreed, and it was a unanimous decision by my executive council that we should be a part of this new umbrella union.
Mm-hmm. Belinda Wilson, when I got into this field, journalism, many years ago, I mean, wherever the hotel union and the public service union and the teachers union, and I mean, they were all in a group that represented a huge chunk of the working people in the country. Is that the same today? Do you have that power, that weight anymore? Does it matter anymore? What should the public make of all of this?
Well, it matters because, again, we are representing workers. And when you talk about the public service, the hotel union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, then you're talking about the three largest unions in the country. And when you now tie that in with, when you think about the airport, let's think about the airport airline and allied workers union. They are, and we like to say the airport, they're the Bahamas Air. They're Bahamas Air persons. So you're talking about human resources and payroll. You're talking about the commercial sales groups and reservations for Bahamas Air. Audit, engineering, cargo. So planning, the stores, catering, quality assurance, the flight attendants, the flight dispatchers, the cleaners, the porters, the ticket agents, the gate agents, the ramp agents, the baggage agents, the customer relations, the security, all of them come under the Airport, Airline, and Allied Workers Union. When you talk about the Bahamas Financial Services Union, you're talking about First Caribbean, the bank, the hotel union. So you'd be talking about Atlantis, we're talking about Kentucky, Club Med in San Salvador, the taxi cab. Well, we have taxi cabs throughout the Bahamas. The teachers union, we have teachers aides, librarians, guidance counselors, and then we have the police and the prison. So that is thousands and thousands and thousands of workers that we represent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we do need to pay attention. All right, we're going to take a break for news headlines. When we come back, we're going to talk about some specific issues, and people are already asking, what does this mean for Labor Day? What are you all going to be doing? We're going to get into that. A lot to talk with Belinda Wilson and Wesley Ferguson about. Coming up, this is Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business. Stay tuned.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Doctors Hospital's Pharmacy introduces a new spin on prescriptions called Pick Up Now, Pay Later. That's right, you can collect your medications first and pay after. How does it work? Step 1, submit a prescription online. Step 2, select the pickup site. Step 3, collect your medication. And Step 4, pay online within 14 days. For more info, call us at 242-302-4785 or visit us at doctorshosp.com.
Scan on Bahamas, it's your boy Sawyer Boy. COVID is clearly unpredictable. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. I'm young, and it still put a beating on me. I had no other option but to go to the hospital. I remember the doctor telling me if I had waited one more day, I wasn't gonna come inside here alive. You don't wanna be in the same position that I was in. Vaccines may not stop you from getting COVID, but it can stop you from getting COVID the way I had COVID. You don't want that way.
Hey, Calico, I coming back, man. I gotta go in Lucha real quick to see my Grammy. She ain't feeling too good. Nico, you think you going away without me? And this little boy, this your little cousin, Nico? I go in. Calico, you know I ain't got enough money for a 3 years. Well, it's a good thing for you. Bahamas lessons fly free to the outer islands, Nico, with the 2 fly free promotion. Oh, you know that? Don't do it. Little boy, go pack up your stuff, yo. And you think I stupid, Nico? Your Grammy live in Long Island? Don't do it. I come in.
There is no better time than now to go on a family getaway to the Family Island. Go to BahamasResidence.com for more information.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and we continue our discussion with the president of the Bahamas National Alliance for Trade Union Congress, Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, the BNATUC, Belinda Wilson, and second vice president Wesley Ferguson. And yes, we continue talking. Thank you for sticking around with us. We're going to get back to Labor Day in a bit. Many wondering what's going to happen now. And from a government perspective, I know for many years it was only the NCTUB that was recognized as the umbrella union Congress for the country, and the TUC's recognition came a little while later. Where do things stand with the BNATUC?
Well, good morning again. As I would have expressed, the various sectors that are now a part of the BNATUC, we will be writing to the Prime Minister and to the Minister of Labor, to the Department of Labor, to the Director of Labor. We will be also writing to the ILO, letting them know of our existence, and the CCL, which is the Caribbean Congress of Labor. We intend to join the CCL. And actually, the ILO speaks to the voice of labor being that umbrella body that represents, that's most representative of workers. So when we look at the various sectors that we represent and the thousands of workers that we represent, we will be drawing that to the attention of the government with a view to them recognizing the BNATUC as the voice of labor in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
All right, let's talk about some of your specific issues. Let's begin with you. You all are negotiating. There was a headline last week about rejecting some of what's been proposed for the BUT for teachers. Tell us about that. Where do things stand? You all are working on a new industrial agreement.
We've been at the table now from the 25th of May, 2019, trying to get this one agreement completed. So we're back we've completed 99.9% of the agreement. We are at the financial portion now of the agreement, and the government proposed to give teachers $58.33 salary increase for 2022-2023.
How much was that? How much?
$58.33 per month salary increase for 2022-2023, and $58.33 per month for 2023-2024. So we've rejected.
So gas money.
Yeah, we've rejected that. And the government is also touting a retention bonus, but we've asked them to come with the research documentation as to the objective of the retention bonus. They've also put a clause in their proposal that if the teachers accept the retention bonus and they retire or resign before 5 years, then the retention bonus would be deducted from their gratuity. So the government does a good talk generalizing. And when you see the unions pushing back, we're pushing back because we have the details of whatever it is that they're offering. And we've had BUT, we had a meeting on May the 19th where the members unanimously rejected the proposal. I had another meeting on May the 24th where 99% of the members voted to take industrial action. And those who were not on the virtual meeting, we had our shop stewards send out the poll to them, and the overwhelming response was that we're giving the government 7 days to get to the table and to come with something that we can consider as reasonable to accept. And so the 7 days is Thursday, and I've been contacted by the lead negotiator, so we are back at the table on Thursday of this week and Tuesday of next week, the 7th.
And what form would industrial action take?
Well, that's another thing too, that I note that sometimes we need to be more clear with the media, because the media, whenever we say we're taking industrial action, they're going to strike. Mm-hmm. A strike is only one tool in an industrial action arsenal. There are so many other things that you can do prior to, and there's so many other things that you could do in industrial action that you won't even need to strike.
All right. So what are some of the forms you're talking about?
I'm not going to publicly list the things that we can and will do. Mm-hmm. Our members, we've had them, we've informed them of various action that we can take that's within the law. And we are going to look at all of the various actions we can take, and we will choose which one or which series of actions we will take and when we will roll them out. But I won't say it publicly.
Yeah. So what would you have wanted to hear? Not $58, I'm sure, but what are you what would be more acceptable?
Well, first of all, teachers have not had a raise since 2016. So that would be 6 years. What we proposed, we proposed a 20% salary increase over a 3-year period. The 3 years that we presented that for was 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021. That period has already expired. So we didn't just pull a number out of a hat. We looked at the costs. We looked at the cost of living. We looked at the various negative impact that has happened to our members and even families. And so definitely we know that what they've offered, the $58.33 is insufficient. And you know what saddens us, and I should say it angers us, because then you look and you see that the government has increased a travel budget. Then the government has increased the budget to hire consultants. And then you have us who are teachers, who have degrees. We are the ones that teach, all of them. And we have to continue to fight. We watched the government spend over $600,000 within a number of days to host the Duke and Duchess. They were able to pave roads overnight. And then when teachers say, we've been teaching, we are qualifying ourselves, we are attending professional development and training with our own funds, locally, regionally, and internationally. While the COVID was on, it was us using our electricity, our cell phone, our minutes, our laptops to teach your children. And now it's time for the teachers to get a raise. Then everyone is asking, why are y'all asking for a raise? Well, we have to go in the same food store that others have to go in, and the gas went up. We have to put that same gas in our vehicles. So, and the only way that teachers can get a salary increase is through collective bargaining, and that is what we're doing.
Any other issues? Well, that's a big one, of course. But facing we just spoke a few weeks ago about this school year, the challenges, not knowing where we're going to make up the time that's been lost. Any closer? Have you heard any more from the officials of the Ministry of Education about this, what they're going to do?
Well, the officials of the Ministry of Education, they are operating as if it's business as usual. So they're going along with the examination. So I suspect that the students and who've been attending school regularly, the parents who have the interest in their children sitting the examinations, then I suspect that they would be the students that will sit the examinations. And those who have not attended school, those who have not prepared themselves for the examinations will be left behind again. And definitely the violence is a concern. So again, we had 2 students stabbed yesterday at AF Adderley. Yesterday, the ambulance had to come and take 2 students who were stabbed. They were fighting. And so we are still challenged with safety on school campuses. I was just on, prior to coming on with you, with the Minister of Education and the Permanent Secretary, asking them, where is the policing plan that was promised weeks ago? Where are the police officers that they said will be posted at the schools? I have nothing in writing to say this is the plan, these are the officers, and this is how we intend to keep schools safe. So it's a lot of rhetoric, but when it comes to execution, they're short on execution but long on talk.
My goodness. Wow. What about you, Wesley Ferguson? Any pressing issues for the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union other than what we've talked about recently?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, sure. There are some issues in the taxi industry. Because as you might be aware, the taxi drivers were just issued with. A great majority of them have been issued with their own franchises. So that issue so far has been resolved. But then there's still the rising cost of fuel. And you may realize that, or may not realize that taxi drivers or the public service drivers on the whole, we consume the lion's share of the fuel that is burned in this country. We cannot do without fuel. And if you notice, fuel has been going up and up and up, but we have yet to reach out to the Minister of Transport as yet to get around the table and to bargain at what percentage of the increase of the taxi fares we will be asking for. Because we know we will kind of put it on hold for a while because we realized that during the summer months, fuel automatically go up. So for us to go ahead now and negotiate at this early stage and get, say, hypothetically, a $2 across the board in taxi fare, and then fuel go up to $10 a gallon in June, July, late June, early July, then we will have absorbed that increase immediately. So we are waiting until at least mid-June to see where gas prices are going to rest. And then we'll go into the ministry and then we will then negotiate from there. So that is one of the main issues that is going on in the taxi industry. Although some of the public sector is already complaining about the high cost of catching a taxi in the Bahamas, but a lot of people do not take into consideration what it takes to operate a taxi cab in this Bahama land, and it's super expensive. And taxi drivers need some relief at this time.
All right, I'm going to come back to that in a moment because we had we read from a blog yesterday on the show, and blogger had some very interesting experiences with taxi drivers. We'll get to that in a moment, Ferguson. But let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on Morning Blend Business. Nope, call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so as we said yesterday, we were reading an American who visited the Bahamas recently and was blogging about it, and he was talking about his experiences with the taxis, and he talked about the fare. You were on the show recently, and we had a long debate about this, about the fare being advertised or published as being one thing, but when he got to his destination, his hotel, it was nearly double what he thought it was going to be. Let's talk about that. Why are we still having that problem? He thought the ride from the airport to the hotel was going to be $39, but the driver told him $60 and expected a tip. What's that all about?
Well, that is a result of the rising price in gasoline. You see, the union have not yet come out or went into the government and negotiate the new rate so they could be publicly published. So you have some taxi drivers who are really struggling with this gas price because prior to COVID-19, gasoline was about $4.30 possibly, and now it's in excess of $6.50. So that's almost a $3 increase in fuel cost. And that is absorbed only by the driver, so that cost, some drivers have taken upon themselves to basically pass that on to the guest, which is not acceptable. But of course, you can't just be driving the taxi just to break even or at a loss. So we have to be patient as taxi drivers until the union has negotiated a real viable increase, so that it could be publicly published, so the tourists don't feel as if they're getting robbed in the process.
So if you experience that, if a taxi driver is telling you this price, what should you do?
Well, what the union position is to just wait a minute to see where the gas prices are going to rest. Because what I'm saying to you, we don't want to prematurely go into the government, get a raise, and then next month gas prices go up again. We can't go back to the government and say we need another raise. because their defense is we just gave you a raise last week. So let us be patient, and taxi drivers will have to bear the brunt of this until we are satisfied that this is where because gas prices always go up, they never come down. Okay, so we anticipate another rate increase in gas prices as of next month. So we have to be very prudent, very patient, and then play our cards correctly before we, jump the gun, and then we end up in the same position that we are in now come next month.
Well, you said it. Not all the drivers are doing that. So again, if you're a tourist or a Bahamian and you get hit with a taxi driver telling you that you owe them $60 when you thought it was going to be $40, what should you do?
Well, the only recourse now we have is the road traffic department. That passenger ought to take the driver's name, if not the name, at least the taxi number, or report that to the disciplinary board at the road traffic department. That driver will have to be dealt with, because that's robbery, actually. It's dishonest.
All right. Let's take these calls. I'll get back to, because there was more with the driver. We'll get back to that in a bit. But caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
And good morning, Belinda and her crew. Madam President, how you doing?
Morning, I'm good.
Wonderful. You need to sound happy, because I waited for this day now for years. Since Clifford Darling jumped down as the head of the tax cab unit back in the day, we've been out of whack. And thank God that the good Lord has seen it necessary to rise up somebody like yourself and your team to restructure the union and take it on the path where it's supposed to go. Now, let me tell you something, Dwight. Dwight, take you out of that, but listen, I can give you a little bit of history. The reason why those other unions ain't working is because the heads of those unions playing around with the members. But let me can't say it, but I can say it. I knew to ex-union. But Mr. Evans always wanted to be wanted the Northern nomination for the Progressive Liberal Party in North Andros. But for some reason or another, that never panned out. It never worked out, because God don't sleep and God don't slumber. He knows that union head there was playing around with the workers. That's why the workers been getting through so bad. And on the flip side of that, Mr. Obie Ferguson, I would never forget him. Somebody need to take him down as well, because in the early 80s, Mr. Obie Ferguson was said on national radio and television that he would never lead a protest in Rawson Square against the Progressive Liberal Party, his government. That is the reason why they're so big and bold and brassy now, as well as the Labour parade can't come together because of the political division between Obie, Munnings, and them and the other faction. So thank God this day has come. And I hope to see a good Labor Day parade this year if it's possible.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We're going to ask him about that in just a moment. Let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Madam President and Vice President.
Good morning.
Dwight, let me say I highly endorse the formation of the new Congress. From its inception, I could only remember the TUC as having one president, one leader. So when you become almost a leader for life, you almost become like a dictator. Now, the other day, last week, the fight that the Public Service Union had with the government, I don't think that Mr. Ferguson should have gotten in that fight and endorsed the government stance against public service. So obviously, to me, he was out of order. So I highly endorse the new formation, because one man can't lead for life. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And one more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. Wesley Ferguson. So that blogger also said that the taxi driver offered him drugs. We don't know. It could be an isolated incident. Many of the people yesterday texting in were saying they doubt that is isolated. Do we have a problem? Do we have a problem with taxi drivers thinking they know what their American visitors want and offering them things like this?
Well, you always have that fraction of unscrupulous taxi drivers who are in the business for the wrong reasons. And that's why the union have been agitating the government for years that we ought to be a part of the vetting process that to let these taxi drivers into this industry. Because remember, taxi drivers in years past have always been touted as ambassadors of this country. But over the last 10 or 12 years, it seems that if we have a lot of undesirable taxi drivers that have entered the system, and their objective is to just ruin the system or to just make as much money as they possibly can by any means necessary in a day. And until the union is able to oversee who is coming into the taxi industry, we will always have that fraction of undesirables, dishonest people who are in the business for just the wrong reasons and do not have the love of country or the love of the industry at heart. But it's just a dollar sign to them to make as much money in a day as possible, and it doesn't matter how it's done.
Wow. All right. Today in the Nassau Guardian, we've got the BPSU. We've got Kimsley Ferguson, one of your members now, talking about the livable wage and saying that what's been proposed for the public sector minimum wage is not enough, won't do much, and that the livable wage should be $350. Let's get your views on this. What should be happening here, and is even that enough? What say you on this?
If I may, I know that there's been a livable wage research document. So we have that document, and actually we're going to have some discussions among our executive board about the livable wage and the minimum wage. We know the $350 that our colleague Kimsley Ferguson has recommended. And we also going to look at what are the other elements surrounding the livable wage. But there's a document and we have it in our possession, and that's definitely going to be discussed among our executive board. Because again, as I was saying, a Congress on a national level, this is where our conversations are going to have to be on a national level, and the livable wage will impact not only the members of the BNA-TUC, but workers throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to continue the conversation. We're going to find out what the plans are for Labor Day, how this is going to work, and more. We're talking with Belinda Wilson and Wesley Ferguson with the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, the newest umbrella union organization in the country. And it's Labor Week here on Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business. Stay with us.
History has taught us that in crisis, humanity will always respond with innovation. What world-changing technologies will emerge from humanity's latest challenges? How can the Caribbean capitalize on the metaverse, blockchain, hybrid work, and more? Join us at the RF Economic Outlook Conference under the theme Future Forces, World-Changing Ideas, where we will explore the future of work, investments, technology, and more. The journey begins on June 8th. Reserve your seat today at www.rfeoc.com.
A local paper in Grand Bahama is back every Tuesday as a section of the Nassau Guardian. Available at local stores, gas stations, pharmacies, Western Bakery, and Bellevue Gifts. Daily and, of course, on Tuesdays, too. Want to reach your Grand Bahama audience? Then call Barefoot Marketing at 827-4578 or message them for ad rates via their Facebook page. Advertising opportunities now include classified ads, too. Keep up with all the latest Grand Bahama news in the Guardian newspaper every Tuesday.
Hey, you know what's going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Well, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and he boys coming for me next.
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report about what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So what are the boy?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pen. Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. So far this year, the Bahamas has welcomed more than 1.3 million tourists through its major ports, a 93% reversal from the contraction in visitor numbers recorded during the same period in 2021. That's according to the Central Bank of the Bahamas. In March alone, there were 623,102 visitors, which represents 73.2% of what was recorded during June 2019, an historic year for tourist arrivals. Official data from the Ministry of Tourism reveals that 147,616 of the visitors in March arrived by air, while 475,486 arrived by sea. You can read more about the numbers in today's Guardian Business section. The Central Bank of the Bahamas warning that although the economic recovery continues, counter-inflation measures in the United States could slow the momentum gained in the past several months. In response to a 40-year high in inflation, major central banks have tightened their monetary policies, with both the United States Federal Reserve and the Bank of England increasing their benchmark interest rates in recent months. This is expected to have a negative impact on the global economy in the near to medium term, and it could hit the Bahamas sooner than expected. Elevated international fuel costs could weaken the travel sector's competitiveness, while the major central banks' counter-inflation policies could erode the travel spending means of consumers in key source markets. Nonetheless, new and ongoing foreign investment-led projects, along with post-hurricane reconstruction works, are projected to provide continued stimulus to the construction sector, according to the central bank. Inflation is projected to reach a high of 7.3%, according to the International Monetary Fund, much of it imported from the U.S., which has seen a 7.7% increase in recent months. The last time the Bahamas saw inflation at 7.3% was 1991. And a study conducted by Carnival Cruise Line and the University of Florida's agency at UF shows travel this summer could top pre-pandemic levels. According to a statement from Carnival Cruise Line, pent-up demand for travel is at an all-time high, while confidence in travel has increased 58% since the start of the year. About 63% of mentions expressed optimism about the changing travel landscape for 2022. Director of the Eric Friedheim Tourism Institute and chair of the Department of Tourism, Hospitality, and Event Management at University of Florida, Dr. Rachel Fu, concluded from the study that many indicators point to 2022 summer travel season that will meet and exceed pre-pandemic levels, as vacationers feel more eager than ever to reclaim opportunities for memory making that only travel can provide. Overseas, Eurozone inflation hit a record 8.1% in May amid surging energy and food costs, fueled in part by Russia's war in Ukraine. Annual inflation in the 19 countries that use the euro currency soared past the previous record of 7.4% reached in March and April, according to the latest numbers published today by the European Union statistics agency Eurostat. Inflation in the Eurozone is now at its highest level since record-keeping for the euro began in 1997. Soaring prices are weighing on household finances and making it more urgent for officials to act quickly to head off further increases in the cost of living. Energy prices jumped 39.2%, highlighting how the war and the accompanying global energy crunch are making life more expensive for the Eurozone's 343 million people. Brent crude oil, the international standard, rose to $120 a barrel after the agreement with the European Union to embargo most Russian oil imports by the end of the year. That's aimed at punishing Moscow for its war with Ukraine. The deal is a double-edged sword, though, that could also magnify the pain for people and businesses already struggling to cope with higher energy costs. And in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Monday, your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 5,000 shares, up 1 cent to $2.82. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.75. Emira Incorporated unchanged at $12.17. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,418.12, up 1.31. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report. Brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you. Just want to let people know there is a special event happening today, a full-scale aircraft crash drill at Lynden Pindling International Airport. That's set for 10:30 this morning. 10:30 this morning. So if you're in the area, don't panic and carry on. This is a drill. It's a drill, full-scale aircraft crash drill. LPIA scheduled for 10:30 this morning. So keep that in mind. All right, we are talking with Belinda Wilson and Wesley Ferguson. They are with the new Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress. And we are having a great conversation this morning. All right, so Belinda Wilson, someone I've just now seen the video of A.F. Adderley, I guess, from yesterday. This is hard to watch and unbelievable, and it's not the first incident we've had at that school in recent months. Is there a problem there? Is something going on? What is happening? And then we can get to the wider issue of violence in our schools. But what's going on?
Well, when we had the discussion several weeks back, my understanding is that the police intelligence would have led them to have concern for AF Adderley students, some of the students at AF Adderley, and this is pertaining to gang activity. And we were of the view that I know they have sent the police officer or officers there, but we also thought that it would not be a one-off, that they will be monitoring and gathering intelligence, on a daily basis. And since the last incident, there was incidents that happened, but we just didn't come to the media. So AF Adderley School definitely needs special attention. I believe that they need stronger leadership also in the in administration. So education definitely has to look at what is happening at AF Adderley and make the changes necessary.
And in general, what do you think is behind this? Are the students worse than they were a few years ago? Has something changed? Has something shifted? Or I know we've been having issues for decades, but is this the worst you've ever seen?
Well, what is happening is whatever the carnage is on the street or in the areas, the different communities, the students are picking up the same fight. So if I live on a certain street and I'm not speaking to your uncle or your daddy, and me and your brother had a shootout last night, and the students are coming to school and they are acting out on those same issues. Whenever the teachers speak with them or guidance counselors speak with them, they ask, why are you fighting with so-and-so? Well, his uncle just shoot my daddy last week. And so, yeah. And then we also found out that many of them are a part of gangs. And we said this earlier. And we're talking about students even who are in primary school, they are part of gangs. So we were of the view, based on my brief discussions with the Minister of National Security weeks ago, when AF Adderley had the other stabbing incidences, that we would have a written policing plan for the schools. They would have attached several officers to various schools, and they were supposed to expand that. And as we speak today, I don't have one sentence in my hand that's been written about what the police plan is for the schools and how they propose to infiltrate these gangs and this violence that we have in our schools.
My goodness. Wow. All right. So this text goes back to the livable wage, minimum wage issue. This person says here, people who can spell their name or can only spell their name are making $300 per week. Why should we pay someone who can hardly spell their name $350 a week? We will get there, but we cannot move too fast. We can progressively get to the $350, but now isn't a good time. Let's start with maybe $300, because in a couple of years, those groups will be striking for more money.
Well, I believe when you even have the discussion about the livable wage, it cannot be just, I think we should be 300. I think we should be 350. Mm-hmm. Again, it has to be based on research. It has to be based on empirical data. And pricing and the cost of living, all of those components is what would suggest what a livable wage is. And based on, if I can remember, I know that they've done the study. The study is done. And they looked at a comparison between if you're living in New Providence or if you're living in Grand Bahama, what the cost would be to feed and pay the bills for a family of 4. So we're going to have to examine all of the information for us to come out and speak intelligently on the matter. And I don't see it as a one-off, because I believe that all the stakeholders really need to get together to ensure that when the government does propose a livable wage amount, it will be based on empirical data, and it would be sufficient for us to live on. The next thing is the person talked about you can't spell your name, or you but you have individuals who may not be able to spell their names, but the job that they've been hired to do, they are doing it efficiently and effectively, and they are excellent or experts in that skill. So again, even when we talk about a livable wage, we cannot talk about a livable wage in the absence of speaking about job skills, training, professional development, and productivity. So all of those elements need to be examined so that we know when the livable wage is introduced. And the person also spoke about, then next year they'll be asking for more money. So all of that, in my view, would be a part of a strategic plan that will show how persons will gradually or incrementally have their salaries increased, or how they will move up or be promoted or improve themselves and their skills.
Wow. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Glen Business. Are you there?
Dwight.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to the union presidents in there. I think you get Mrs. Wilson and Mr. Ferguson, I think I heard you said, right, Dwight?
Yes, Wesley
I
Ferguson.
don't know if you have a co-host with you. But
Good morning.
If you have a co-host. Good morning, Mrs. Wilson.
Good morning.
And good morning to the nation. I just wanted to make one comment as it relates to the comment by the other union president for the BPSU. I think is he also Ferguson, Dwight?
Yes, that's Kimsley
Right.
Ferguson.
Kimsley Ferguson. I believe that his statement is very irresponsible. Him stating what is insufficient and what is not sufficient. I believe that the teachers union president, Mrs. Belinda Wilson, she started on the right track just now with what she was saying, but she didn't go further, which is what prompted me to really call in. She acknowledged, which is the fact that at the University of the Bahamas, the School of Governance and Public Policy has conducted a study.
Institute, yeah.
I think Shabago Lang headed that study along with Mrs. Archer or Dr. Archer, and they have already come up with what the numbers are for New Providence and Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama being even more expensive. However, when you take into consideration all of the stakeholders and the amount of money that it would take in order to make or in order to achieve a livable wage, I think you would end up spending somewhere between $600 to $700, possibly up to $800, $900. Somewhere between $600 to $900 per week would have to be the actual salary for livable wage. And when you look at the shock trying to achieve such a livable wage over a very short term would have on the private sector and the public sector, it would be unsustainable business-wise and economically. And so the Prime Minister rightfully pronounced and announced in Parliament, and so it's on the record, that the government will make incremental steps towards achieving that end goal of a livable wage. The first step is to increase the minimum wage, and the first step in accomplishing that would be to lead by example, being the government of the Bahamas, making sure that it sets the example that private sector is expected to follow. The Minister for Economic Affairs, Minister Alcides, further came behind and explained rightfully so and correctly so that they are meeting with the other private sector stakeholders, and they also expect that very shortly, if not simultaneously, the private sector will come on board by matching the government with the minimum wage. And as the economy improves, one would expect naturally and rightfully so and right-minded thinking persons would also recognize and agree with that thinking that as the economy improves, then you can expect that the incremental adjustments upward should be followed with the improvement in the economy and the GDP and the sustainability of such increases in the minimum wage until we're able to possibly either achieve, and I'll end with this note, Dwight, until we're actually able to possibly achieve that livable wage, or we're able to get the minimum wage to a point, and then we're able to reduce the cost of living in our country to a point where we can have sustainable electricity at an affordable price, we can have healthy foods grown locally at an affordable price, and the government is putting in a plan to achieve those inroads. Okay. So that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah,
to the
I don't know if
conversation
it's
because
right to
I
say
found
that his comment was irresponsible, though. Is it irresponsible? I mean, that's, the place is expensive.
$350, Dwight. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
To go from what the current minimum wage is in the country right now to jump to a shock of $350, that is a grossly irresponsible statement. Dwight, businesses, even big businesses in our country, have taken a serious blow over the last 2 years of COVID, and we still are not out of COVID as yet. Although the economy is showing strong signs of rebounding with tourism and other sectors of the economy. And so to put that kind of shock on the private sector and on the public purse, come on, man.
He's talking about the public sector, but wants is not what that's what you want. I mean,
the money ain't gonna drop out of the sky, Dwight. That's the point. The money isn't gonna drop out of the sky, and at the end of the day, if the government increases at one time, just coming in on a fiscal deficit that is still extremely high. If the government introduces that kind of shock to the minimum wage, being the largest employer in the country, do you imagine the shock that will have on the taxpayers? Okay. And the amount of taxes that would have to be increased in order to accommodate such an increase in minimum wage, the $350, Dwight, it would be ridiculous. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks
God
a lot. Well, okay, not sure what's happening. Oh, wow. The last part there was key. The right bringing down the cost of living as a livable wage is a suggestion, right? And that tells you about how challenging it is to live in the country. But you can do other things to help to bring that down. But we're running out of time here. I know we got another call. Let's see if we can get this in very quickly. And I want to ask you about Labor Day. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Hi, caller. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, godly day is about dark, voice along with you, Dwight, and of course your panel. The thing is, Dwight, the government can find money to do everything else than keeping its people healthy. You know, the wages which need to be issued to the public is to keep our people healthy, and in other words, to eat the proper food and to keep themselves healthy and to go to doctors and stuff like that. So Anton got to stop jiving. They think only them supposed to live.
Okay, all right. Let's get back to you, Belinda Wilson and Wesley Ferguson. So, Labor Day, Friday coming. What's going to happen here? We've got 3 now umbrella unions in the country. What does that mean? Are 3 marches? Are we doing 3 separate events? What can we expect?
Well, the BNATUC, we're going to be right on the same march. It's going to start from Windsor Park and end up at our key. So we're asking not only workers from the unions and the associations that are a part of us to join us, but we're asking all workers. This is our day. So come out Friday and let's celebrate Labor Day. We hope that the rain behaves, but yeah, we'll be out there.
All right. What time and where? Which route?
8 a.m. Starting at Windsor Park and heading north onto Bay Street and then on to our key. And we at 9 a.m. we are going to join Teresa Mortimer, who's the president of the Bahamas Financial Services Union, at the Garden at Zion church, Eastern Shirley Street, where we're going to lay a wreath for the fallen four ladies who were part of her union.
Okay. All right. Well, this is very exciting stuff. We're getting some other messages congratulating you on this move, and so we are waiting to see what comes out of this. But Belinda Wilson and Wesley Ferguson, thank you so much for talking with us this morning, and explaining the rationale behind all of this. The Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, definitely an historic move. Thank you again.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much, Dwight.
Thank you, Bahamas.
All right. We're going to be back with more Labor Week on the show tomorrow morning, so tune in for that and Thursday. And I'll be back with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business as well. Dwight's trying to have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.